If you're looking for a new card game of battling wizards, this is the game that you need. This is Chroma Arcana, and today we're taking a first look. Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie. We are the home of Tabletop Gaming magazine, which is a monthly publication talking about all cool things tabletop gaming, board games, card games, RPGs and beyond. It comes out every month. There'll be a link in the description that you can go and check out your copy. But today we're here to take a look at this. This is Chroma Arcana. It is a brand new card game coming to Kickstarter, and it is very exciting because we're talking things like trading card game vibes without all of the commitment of having to frequently buy trading card games, all of the battling vibes that gives us all of that competition goodness, and just a great set of artwork. Now, one thing I will say immediately is we are taking a first look today. We're not going to take a huge in-depth. There are other how to play videos if you want them. And equally, this, as it says so beautifully across the top, is a promo copy. So that means this is not the full version of the game. It will come in a very different format. This is just enough to get us up and running. And also there may be some changes as it goes through Kickstarter. As it completes its final development, things may change. So just be aware of that. But for some flavour, we've got you covered. So let's take a look inside. Now, first look, first time opening. Let's see what we get. Ooh, ooh, tokens, amazing. Okay, so we have got in quite a small box some beautiful little tokens. Now, I, of course, couldn't resist taking a look at the rules and some extra info, so we know a little bit about this, a little more than perhaps we normally would at this stage. And within that, that means I know that these are going to be used for potentially two things. So we're going to be using these to charge our spells in order to be able to attack the other side and hopefully win. But we're also using it just to keep an eye on what our health is. So there is a certain amount of health per round. Once your health runs out, you've lost. So don't do that, just don't. Now, I also have a set of cards here and a whole pack of sealed cards as well. Now they have different backing on them, so let's have a look and see inside. Now, Chroma Arcana fascinated me when we first learned of it because of its artwork, and I'm led to believe there were 3 artists involved in the creation of them, and that it has created something truly beautiful. Which, in all honesty, simply from the back of the card we have here, look at that, how gorgeous is that, and it carries on the whole way through. It's sort of a fantasy vibe that you get, but all of the good magic, it just ties in really nicely with the theme that it is supposed to be. But we have lots of different types and lots of different colours. So you are going to select, as you go through, 3 colours to make up your deck. Now, there are different types of cards. You've got everything from your standard, like I've talked about this being a spell attack game, of course. So you have spell cards, as you would expect. You also have things like potions or items, and one of those will interrupt the other player just to make things a little bit more complicated, just to make things a little bit more fierce and interruptive and interactive as well. Now, if I separate out those ones that I said were quite lovely artwork alongside these beautiful ones with different backing, you will see that the majority of your cards have this beautiful artwork on the back. These are the ones you're going to be taking sort of in and out of play quite frequently. You will be within your hand sometimes discarding these to get the tokens that you need to charge your spells. You may be using these actually on their own, in which case you'll have more information about what you can do with each one. Some of them are burst spells, for example, which means they happen immediately and then that's it. That's them done and dusted and out of the game. You'll have some that have other uses, but they come in these different colours. You can have 3 colours in a deck. There are recommendations. Some you have to have at least one of some within each of them, but you can pick and choose which ones those are. And that's where this sort of almost trading card game element comes into it as well, because you're crafting your deck. So we're deck building, but with cool different colours and different ways of doing it that just feels, look at those, reminiscent of picking up and pulling the coolest card ever. Now, I think the artwork on these is really what makes it stand apart. It does come across as a really fun little game, but look at these. These, I feel you could make posters out of this artwork and have them on your wall and no one would blink. Everyone would just be like, yes, that is very cool, which is potentially a recommendation for behind your gaming table. But all of the time you have lots of different cards to cycle through. All of these, look, and this is just a little promo pack to get us up and running. But they are not the only type of cards. There are more cards. We have our characters as the main one. Something that I love about when you actually have a look at the rules of this game, they give you step-by-step instructions. And what I mean is they have a demo round. So to begin with, they basically start off saying, look, if you've never played it before, read this part of the instructions first. And that part of the instructions gives you a step-by-step. Here are the cards to make your deck. Here are the characters you've got. Here's what you need to know about this core gameplay that you're using. Once that's then done, and once you've played it and once you've got it, they're like, right, now start adding in these. Now start adding in these. And that graduated approach to learning how to play games is incredibly important, but also it gets us up to speed much more quickly, much more confidently, and embeds it better. So ultimately, it's a real good way of playing. In the sample ones that we have, you would be playing as these two characters. So these, we have Azaria, who's the Archdruid, and Nuri, the Pyromancer, as your attacking and defending characters. Now, you would have one of these on either team, and with those, you would then have one of these. Now, these are what I would best describe in colloquial terms as like your default spells. These are spells that you already know and that you can call upon in order to complete whenever you sort of need to. So they stay in your spellbook, not quite your spellbook, but they stay in your play area the entire time. They don't move separately into spellbook because that's what your other ones do. These you already know. But with your character on one side, with your known spell on the other side, in the middle you will have your little tracker on how well you're doing health-wise, and above that you will place your spellbook. That's going to be made up from up to 4 spells from these pack of cards, and those you will then try to charge up. You can charge them up by discarding cards in your hand, for example, that have the same colour. That means they are then ready to go. Once you've charged them up, they are ready to go, and then you send them out to attack your opposing player, and they move into active spells to do that. But if you have those 4 out there and actually you think a better one would be there, can't add to 5, take one out, put a new one in. You're constantly having to review whether what you've got is the best of what you could do, and whether your upcoming hand or what you might have available or what you can use can be changed over. Now, at the end of every time you draw back up to 5, you can discard down to 2, you'll draw back up to 5, which means you can constantly keep cycling through. It's not necessarily the same issue you get in trading card games where quite often draw is a difficulty. It is an opportunity for you to keep playing fluidly with your entire deck. And the other problem of potentially running out of cards doesn't spell the end of the game here. Instead, it is a case that you lose 1 life on your little tracker and then you shuffle your discard and start all over again. And what that means, what that impact that has, is that actually you're going to be playing this game in somewhere between 20 to 40 or so minutes, which I think hits a nice sweet spot. It is enough time in order to get into the nitty-gritty of the game, into your own deck and enjoying what you're doing and constructing and creating different things and playing really sort of against each other in a really tight-knit game, but without letting it go on too long that A, you can lose interest, and B, it takes the fun out of things. If you finish this game and you are eager to get going again, you can. You have time to do so. So I just want to show you a little bit more of that artwork, and you can see how beautiful sort of these watercolour style things we have here, and I really think it can't be understated how nice these ones are. And if you're curious, the ones that I'm showing you at the moment are all chromatic cards, which means they're that little grey colour but with beautiful splashes of colour as well, and those mean that they can be deemed sort of as any colour, unlike this guy who is blue, or this barrier that is also blue, or this creepy guy. Now, there are plenty of different card types to enjoy. You'll see there are plenty of different symbols on there, which makes it nice because the iconography is actually quite clear and quite explanatory as to what you're expecting. There's no like, a mild squiggle means turn it 12 times to the left and it's fine. No, a potion looks like a potion bottle and a blast looks like an explosion, and it all makes a lot more sense. Anyway, if you want to know more about this beautiful game, then you need to sign up for their Kickstarter or pledge. Now, I will pop all of the details you need in the description below, so make sure to check it out. Drop us a comment if this is one that you're interested in, or if you have any questions, because I can't wait to get started playing, to be honest. So I want to hear your thoughts on it, and I should be able to answer anything that you may want to know. But ultimately, if you're in the market for a new card game, this could be the one for you. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this. I can't wait to read your comments, and we'll speak soon. Have a lovely day.